Welcome to NoColink, your Northern Colorado media connection for business, community, and lifestyle. I'm Janice Mount, and we have a wonderful program lined up for you today, so we'll be right back after this.
I got no pulse, so losing him.
Sergeant, he's in VFib.
Shock him.
Drives it road all the time. He just had a few drinks. This can't be happening.
Are we clear?
Clear.
You just buzzed.
Just buzzed. You didn't tell us that, sir. You're right, this isn't happening. He'll be fine.
I feel good.
Really?
No, not really.
Buzz driving.
Clear.
Maybe we should stop acting like it's no big deal.
VFib.
Shock him.
One of the most iconic nonprofit organizations in the world is the American Red Cross, and we are honored to have with us on NoColink today Erin Mounsey, the Executive Director of the Northern Colorado American Red Cross. Welcome to the program, Erin.
Janice, thanks so much for having me on today, and thanks for helping us tell the Red Cross story in our communities.
Our pleasure. We're glad to have you. Well, what is the vision and the mission of the American Red Cross?
Well, your American Red Cross, first off, we're a humanitarian organization and we're led by volunteers, and with our primary focus being to provide relief to victims of disasters, and we want to help our communities prevent, prepare for, and respond to emergencies. As our vision as a whole, the American Red Cross, we empower ordinary individuals like you and myself to perform extraordinary acts in the face of emergencies. We mobilize, we connect donors and those who want to help with those who are in need. It's really as much about when there's an urgent need, there's a helping hand ready to go, and whether it's a hurricane or a heart attack, a call for help. The American Red Cross is going to be there.
That's very true. They are always there. And you have a unique story about how you got involved with the American Red Cross. Would you mind to share a little bit about that with us?
Sure, Janice. It's something that really makes me feel just honored to be a part of the American Red Cross, because I was once one of our clients in a very extraordinary way. I'd known about the American Red Cross growing up, mainly through taking life-saving courses, swimming, and things like that when I was a child. But I really didn't quite understand the organization as a whole. And it was really until tragedy struck my own life. And while remodeling my home in Durango, Colorado, fumes from lacquer thinner hit a pilot light, and boom, in the flash of an eye, my whole world changed. And I was very fortunate. I was able to escape the house. I suffered extraordinary burns, and quickly I'm into a medically induced coma and in the hospital. And it was while I was recovering in the hospital that I started hearing these stories about how people came together in our community and helped out. And I started hearing about how the American Red Cross was there that day with their volunteers, and just so many wonderful things that those volunteers did in our community that day to make sure that my friends, my neighbors, my family had their basic needs taken care of. And that was really something that I dreamt about while I was there in the hospital, about maybe volunteering with this organization one day. And it's just absolutely an honor to lead the organization in Northern Colorado today.
Thank you for all you do to serve our community. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Janice.
Tell us what programs and services the American Red Cross offers.
Yeah, so we have 5 great programs that you'll find anywhere in the country with your American Red Cross. And starting with our disaster services program, that's what people know us probably best for, because we make the high-profile disasters around the nation. Things like the spring storms, where we had Minot, North Dakota, and Joplin, Missouri affected this last year. And these are the extraordinary disasters that we respond to, but also the single-family fires, which we see hundreds and thousands of throughout each year. And that's what we see 90% of our disasters right here in our community. That's where our volunteers are going out to really provide that shoulder and that hope to those families with food, shelter, clothing, making sure their emergency needs are taken care of. Our health and safety programs are where we're teaching life-saving skills: first aid, CPR, AED, water safety, even how to save the life of a family pet, and babysitting. Some great courses there where we're training over 2 million members of our community each year. Our Service to Armed Forces program, this is where we're providing emergency communications, connecting family members with their loved ones in the military. And we do this hundreds and thousands of times each year. Our Blood Services program, we have over 3.5 million donors throughout the country who give of their time and their blood to ensure that those who are in need of blood products have it available to them. Here in Colorado, we don't compete with those who are already collecting the blood supplies. Instead, we have to advocate to ensure that our community members know the importance of maintaining our nation's blood supply. With our international services, we're responding to disasters and major disease outbreaks like malaria and HIV, and helping our over millions of people throughout the nation, and also connecting those who are torn by war and tragedy and connecting their families back together when they're separated.
And Aaron, what kind of disasters do we see most often here locally?
Well, here locally, probably the most common disaster, and this is really what we see throughout our nation, is the single-family fire. This is much like what I experienced myself years ago. Just say, it can be as simple as a candle that gets tipped over, a cooking fire, things like this. But single-family fires are really one of those events that disrupt families with this really a tragic set of circumstances that can put them out of house and home in the most abrupt fashion. And our volunteers are there to provide those basic needs back to those people, and a plan on how to get back on their feet again, and hope.
And as a previous client and the executive director now, how does it feel for you to work right alongside the volunteers that helped you?
Well, Janice, it's extraordinary to work with those volunteers, and that's what I love about the American Red Cross. It is truly a volunteer-led organization, and I appreciate our volunteers on so many different levels. And I think about times recently that I've had the opportunity to watch them responding to fires here in our community, and really being those individuals who help to ensure that family who's affected. I'm thinking about just a recent fire in Loveland, where multiple families were displaced over a 6-unit apartment fire, and our volunteers not only going right there to the site the day of, but days after at the hospital, and reassuring those who were affected and really helping them build a plan to get back on their feet again. And that's where I really see the rubber hitting the road with the Red Cross.
Yeah, the volunteers are amazing, that's for sure. Well, are there any significant disasters that stick out in your mind?
Disasters are extraordinary, and of course there's the large ones like the earthquake and tsunami in Japan over this last year that really was impactful. In the spring storms, we had one of the most significant disaster seasons on record with the American Red Cross this year. But then I even think to what we experienced right here in our communities with the northern Colorado tornadoes in 2008. We always need to be prepared for the big ones as well.
That's for sure. Well, I know that after watching this program, there are going to be a lot of people who would like to get involved. And tell us about some of the ways that they can get involved with the Red Cross.
Well, most importantly, we need the support of our communities. So we'd hope that people will give. And we've even had recent gifts like the truck here that was donated by Larimer County. And there's a lot of different ways to give, financially, through in-kind gifts, but support your Red Cross and make sure that we have the resources so that those volunteers really can get out and provide that hope to those families in need. There's also the opportunity to volunteer, become one of those individuals. But this is not your regular volunteer opportunity. This is not 2 hours on a Saturday. This is really a commitment that you're going to make. We're going to train these individuals, and hopefully that they're going to be there to really get up at 2 in the morning and go out when these disasters occur and help folks out. There's also teaching our life-saving skills in health and safety classes, or possibly helping to communicate one of those emergency messages. So lots of different ways to get involved as a volunteer.
Well, thanks for being with us on the program today, Aaron. We really appreciate it.
Janice, thanks so much for having me on. It's really a pleasure to tell the story of the Red Cross, and I know that together we can transform a life of crisis into a life of hope.
That's for sure. Well, if you'd like to have more information about how you can get involved with the American Red Cross, contact the American Red Cross at coloradoredcross.org or call them at 1-800-RED-CROSS. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
When every moment matters and a hand reaches out, when someone gives blood and a life is saved, that moment when heartbreak turns to hope, you're there through the American Red Cross. Every day, the Red Cross responds to nearly 200 neighborhood emergencies, and your support makes it possible. Use this moment to join us today. Support your local Red Cross.
Our next guest is Linda Huey with the Northern Colorado Nonprofit Resource Center here in Northern Colorado. Welcome to the program, Linda.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
We're glad to have you. Well, what is the Nonprofit Resource Center?
Well, the Northern Colorado Nonprofit Resource Center was started about 3 years ago with a collaboration between Midge Toomey and I. And Midge and I were interested in knowing more about what the needs of the nonprofit community were. So we gathered together about 8 or 10 nonprofit consultants, and they met with us on what they felt the nonprofit needs in the community were. And after that meeting, we went ahead with the Northern Colorado Nonprofit Resource Center, which is its own nonprofit organization, and it is set up to meet the services and needs and resources of nonprofit organizations in Northern Colorado, of which there's about 3,000 501c3s in Larimer and Weld counties.
And what do you do? How do you go about meeting those needs?
Well, we have several programs that we offer to our clients. It includes data collection and research, monthly nonprofit networking events, the resource fair, a nonprofit conference, a comprehensive website is being set up, and mastermind groups, and even advocacy for legislative issues that impact the nonprofit community in Northern Colorado.
That is a lot, and I'd like to talk about each one of those, but tell me a little bit more about the resource fair.
So the resource fair was one of our first test balloons on connecting pro-nonprofit businesses who offer products, services, and fundraising opportunities with nonprofit organizations. And this test balloon was quite successful in our first year and again in our second year, and so we're continuing that forward. With that said, we received an interest from corporations in funding a conference this year. So we are very excited to announce that we expect this to be moved into a full conference format this year.
Wonderful. And how does all of those services benefit our community?
So there are many different organizations that are benefited by the Northern Colorado Nonprofit Resource Center. Nonprofit organizations are obviously benefited by having resources such as information, strategic planning, grant writing, fundraising opportunities, ways that you run fundraisers, and other types of resources that any nonprofit would need in order to run and operate properly. Additionally, foundations are interested in ensuring that the money that they are giving to nonprofit organizations is being utilized in a good format, and that these nonprofits are strong nonprofits and the money is being used wisely. The government agencies are interested in knowing what the nonprofits are doing, because in the sector, nonprofits do what government agencies can't do. And in this time where we have tax dollars impacted negatively, nonprofits are having to fill that gap and having to find more philanthropic people within the community. So government agencies are really looking to the nonprofits to fill those gaps. Donors are interested in making sure that they're donating to good quality organizations. Volunteers are always seeking where they can volunteer, and so we provide information and resources for their volunteerism. And then the general community really should understand this is a huge community of nonprofit organizations. We have 3,000 501c3s in Larimer and Weld County, and that's a lot of nonprofits for people to be funding. So we just want the community in general to know more about what we do.
Well, you are doing a wonderful work for our community, and there might be nonprofit organization leaders watching the program today who might want to get involved in the Northern Colorado Nonprofit Resource Center. And you can do that by contacting the Northern Colorado Nonprofit Resource Center at ncnrc.org or email them at info@ncnrc.org, and their phone numbers are available on the screen. Well, thanks for being a guest with us on the program today, Linda. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having us.
All right, don't go away. We'll be right back.
The 9/11 Memorial will honor my partner and the officers who responded that morning.
It's for my brother.
And my 343 brothers who didn't make it.
It's about hope for the future.
So we always remember September 11th.
For my husband who never came home.
And the first responders who saved my life.
This shows the world that we can rebuild.
That we are united.
And that we are strong.
Because the best of humanity can overcome the worst hate.
It's for all the heroes like my dad.
This year, the National September 11th Memorial opens in New York City. Join us to honor, remember, and reunite. To learn more or to reserve your visit, go to 911memorial.org.
Many seniors share similar ideals: work hard, provide for the family, retire with the resources to meet basic needs, and leave a legacy to their family, often in the form of the home's equity. But many seniors have seen these efforts derailed by the unexpected life events and the ever-rising costs of living. These financial strains have left many seniors worrying about what if? What if I can no longer make my mortgage payment? What if my car breaks down or my home needs repaired? What if my health takes a turn? For many seniors, the answers to what if may be a reverse mortgage. And with us on the program today is Peggy Sage with First Reverse Mortgage. Welcome to the program, Peggy.
Thanks, Janice. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Glad to have you here. Well, what is a reverse mortgage?
A reverse mortgage is actually a loan program that was put together specifically for seniors to help them gain access to equity that they might not otherwise be able to get to.
Okay, and who qualifies?
There are some qualifying factors, but not many. The youngest person on title has to live in the house, and they have to be at least 62 years old. And then the value of the home based on an FHA appraisal is taken into consideration, and they determine how much can come out based on that.
Okay, and is it safe?
You know what? It is very safe. It's one of the safest loan programs out there. It's one of the reasons that FHA got involved, because they wanted to make sure that the seniors were not being taken advantage of.
And how can somebody use these funds?
There's not any restrictions on the way that they use the funds. There are different ways that they can take them out, though. They can take them out as a lump sum and invest themselves, manage the money themselves. They can take a small lump sum maybe and some monthly. They can structure it in any way that they want.
Really flexible then.
Very flexible.
There seems to be some misconceptions about a reverse mortgage. Can you clarify some of that for us?
There are quite a few of them, and one of the reasons that FHA got involved was to make sure that it was a safe program. So the misconception that you might lose title to your house or you may have to move out at some point in time, those are not true. Also, there are no tax ramifications, and income from the equity does not affect your Social Security income.
Okay, and you mentioned FHA. Isn't that a government organization?
It is a government program, and they're the ones that put a lot of the safeguards in place. They make sure that the senior does counseling and a number of other things to make sure that they understand what they're doing.
Okay, sounds safe then. And what if a senior is in a home that really no longer suits their needs?
There are a couple of options that they have at that point in time. They can use some of the funds that they get to renovate the house, as all of the funds if they want to, but they can also sell the home that they're in and use some of the equity that they take from that sale and purchase a home using a reverse mortgage. Oftentimes when they do that, that gets them maybe closer to where they would like to be, something more suitable, maybe a ranch-style home rather than something with stairs. And it gives them an opportunity to maybe save tens of thousands of dollars and set it aside for use later on.
All right, so this sounds like a very flexible opportunity and something that some of our viewers might want to be taking advantage of. Peggy has some program material available, so if you would like to have more information, you can contact Peggy at First Reverse Mortgage at 1strmusa.com or psage at 1strmusa.com. And her number is 970-691-4648, and she's got a toll-free number up on the screen as well. Thanks for being with us on the program today, Peggy.
Thanks, it was fun.
Thank you. Don't go away, we'll be right back.
part of the first class. Get outside and get moving. Experience the power of physical activity. Join the movement at actionheroalliance.com.
Well, we are fortunate to have located right here in northern Colorado the National Board of Chiropractic Examiners. Our next guest today is Mr. Horace Elliott, who is the Executive VP there. Welcome to the program, Mr. Elliott. Glad to have you.
Delighted to be here.
Well, when was the National Board of Chiropractic Examiners established?
Janice, we were formed in 1963, and we are located in Greeley. We are a private, nonprofit organization, corporation, governed by an 11-member board of directors who are current or former members of state licensing boards.
And what is the mission and the vision for NBCE?
The National Board of Chiropractic Examiners' mission is to provide pre-licensure examinations for chiropractors. We test both pre-licensure and post-licensure individuals coming out of chiropractic colleges, and we do this for the state licensing boards so that the results of our examinations are utilized by all 50 states and the state licensing boards for licensing of chiropractors.
So how does the work of the NBCE affect credentialing and the licensure of chiropractors?
Well, of course, the work we do is the standardization of the criteria for becoming licensed. We reflect and test what the students learn in school, and we reflect and test what is expected in practice in the chiropractic profession. So all of the individuals who are all 50 states requiring our examinations means that you have a standard level of competency for chiropractors throughout the United States.
So can our viewers who are considering or using a chiropractor right now be assured that their specific chiropractor has been through your program and licensed properly?
Well, if all 50 states do require our examinations, so any chiropractor that is currently in practice has gone through the standardized testing process, and which assures that competence.
Okay, and about how many tests do you do, and about how many individuals go through your program each year?
We do about 15,000 examinations each year in 4 different cycles. 2 of those are written examinations that reflect the educational process. 2 of those are practical examinations, and we are the first healthcare organization, testing organization, that has provided a national practical examination for healthcare providers.
That's wonderful. And you are located right here on our own Greeley, Colorado. Tell us about why you chose that location.
Well, previously we were in Cheyenne, Wyoming as a smaller organization operating out of the home of the president. We were utilizing the University of Northern Colorado for our statistical and psychometric work. And in doing that, when the board decided on a location, they moved it to Greeley to be near that expertise at the University of Northern Colorado.
Well, you have a beautiful facility there.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the, yes, you should be. And thank you for all the work that you're doing to help us understand chiropractic care in our community and around the country.
Oh, you're quite welcome. And we're very proud of the job we do and the results that we have.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Mr. Elliott, for being a guest with us on the program today. If you would like more information about the National Board of Chiropractic Examiners, you can contact them at the information on the screen, www.nbce.org, or email jmonath@nbce.org. You can also call 970-356-9100, and their address is up on the screen. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to energy-saving bulbs. Saving energy saves you money.
Parents and community members have the opportunity to sponsor a painting by the late Lou Haskew to be placed at their favorite school in the Thompson School District. Lou Haskew was an artist and former teacher in the Thompson School District. She passed away in 2009. Her son, Denny, a sculptor, has donated a framed painting for each school within the Thompson School District. Patrons may sponsor a painting, much like bricks are sponsored for new facilities. One painting will be hung at each of Thompson's schools, including current charters. The sponsor's name will be included on a plaque that will also honor Lou and her son. Proceeds will be placed into an endowment to support the arts in the schools. If you'd like more information about sponsoring a painting, contact the Thompson School District and the Thompson Education Foundation at www.thetef.org or call 970-613-5074.
The 9/11 Memorial will honor my partner and the officers who responded that morning.
It's for my brother.
And my 343 brothers who didn't make it.
It's about hope for the future.
So we always remember September 11th.
For my husband who never came home.
And the first responders who saved my life. This shows the world that we can rebuild.
That we are united.
And that we are strong.
Because the best of humanity can overcome the worst hate.
It's for all the heroes like my dad.
This year, the National September 11th Memorial opens in New York City. Join us to honor, remember, and reunite. You can help right now by texting the word HOPE to 80088 to give $10.
Well, thanks for being with us. We hope you enjoyed all the guests on the program today, and we'll see you next time. Also, thank you to our partners at Advance Print and Mail. Located in northern Colorado, their mission is to assist you with the right printing and direct mail solutions to meet your marketing goals. Visit them on the web at admimail.com or call 970-669-9800. As always, we'd love to hear from you, so visit us on the web at NoColink.com or on YouTube, where you can view previous shows. Special thanks to our partners, Realities for Children Charities, dedicated to serving the unmet needs of abused and neglected children in Larimer County.
Janice's Wardrobe is provided by Close to Home, where you'll find women's clothing, jewelry, handbags, home decor, furniture, and much more.